his cheeks were stained with tears and soot. The boy trembled as Sukhbir reached for him. "Hush, little one, I am not going to hurt you," whispered Sukhbir as he lifted the whimpering boy into his arms. He hugged him gently, attempting to drive away the memory of the demons that the boy had witnessed and been possessed by. Unfortunately, he knew that the demons would plague him for the rest of his life. Drenched in sweat and blood, Sukhbir Singh was about to exit the train with the child when he heard a groan. Were his ears deceiving him? Was it yet another human voice? And then it came again. Sukhbir called out to his colleague Chand Prakash. "Chand, I need you to take this boy to the retiring room. Find him something to eat and drink. I have to find the other voice." 250 BCE, Patliputra. The streets of Patliputra lay quiet. Even the late-night taverns had packed off their last customers. The 64 gates built into the massive walls that surrounded the city had been shuttered for the night. 570 sentries, stationed in individual towers along the perimeter, maintained vigil for intruders from across the surrounding moat. In the center of town stood the magnificent royal palace, nestled in a bed of splendid gardens and lakes. The massive doors to the palace lay locked, having been secured by the royal guards. But a secret entrance remained open. It was used only once every full moon night, by 9 specially chosen men. Inside the palace, the emperor was still at work. He barely ever slept. It meant that everyone else around him also remained sleep-deprived. He sat at the head of the meeting chamber. Floor-mounted flaming torches threw dancing shadows that bounced off the walls as the monarch deliberated with the 9 men. Ashoka was not a handsome man. In fact, most people found him rather unattractive. In the past, though, he had always exuded a spirit of unbounded energy, which seemed to have entirely vanished these days. Kalinga had changed him. Kalinga had been the proverbial thorn in Ashoka's side, and he had finally succeeded in plucking the Federal Republic out several years ago. Ashoka's great triumph at Kalinga had eluded even his father and grandfather. The victory should have been cause for grand celebration. So why had it felt so hollow? Ashoka had conquered Kalinga by sending 100,000 of his own warriors to their deaths. Twice that number of Kalingans had died. The river Daya that bordered the battlefield had turned red for several months after the gruesome war. And then, there had been a transformation in the emperor. Ashoka the wicked had morphed into Ashoka the righteous. The emperor looked at the 9 men in the room. Each one of them was seated on a throne that was identical to that of Ashoka. No single man was greater than the other inside this chamber. Ashoka was lost in thought. Could he trust them to do what was required? Would they honor their word to him? Realizing that he had no alternative, Ashoka took a deep breath and spoke. "I have called you here because I am very worried," he began. The oldest among them, the preserver of the secret, knew better than to show any reaction. He awaited his instructions while holding his bulky folder. The folder was stitched from fabric and had a jellyfish-like emblem embroidered on the cover. "Over the years, we have almost perfected our research," continued Ashoka. "The voluminous folder before you contains a body of inquiry that is path-breaking. Emperors would willingly give up their kingdoms to acquire such incredibly empowering knowledge. Your research has helped make the Mauryan Empire prosperous. It has enabled us to win wars, subdue our enemies, and provide a better life to our people." He paused. His mind was struggling to find appropriate words for the occasion. "But look at what I did with your work.